I spent one whole day booking calls with 16 of the biggest names in the online business space to test one theory.
There's tons of research that suggests that you can 4 or 5x your conversion of leads by calling them within 60 seconds of them opting in for any product you have. If you have all of these priorities they have across the company, does any of them have the high likelihood of 4 or 5xing your business immediately with very low cost of doing so? Less so than just calling the leads within 60 seconds. If the answer is no, then by God, why are you not calling all your leads within 60 seconds?
Alex Hormozi, Eman Gadzi, Charlie Morgan. I went through their funnels, I booked a call, and then I waited. What happened next was either really impressive, mediocre, or genuinely nothing at all. Speed to lead, the idea is simple. The faster that you follow up with a lead, the more likely that lead is to show up to the call or buy your service at the end of the call. The data is overwhelming. Contact a lead within 60 seconds to 5 minutes, and you have a 300 times more chance of closing that lead if you wait 60 minutes or even a few days. It's a simple idea, and you would think that every single one of these gurus either preaches or knows about this idea, yet what I found was genuinely shocking to me. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I found, all of the lessons that I learned from this, and then I have designed the perfect funnel, taking all of the good things and adding AI to the parts where all of these gurus failed. There is nothing more important than speed to lead. So, the rules of the test. What did we actually do? We booked into 16 different funnels in one day. We gave everyone the same conditions. We made sure that we booked in within the time that the time zone was okay for people to be calling if they had human setters. I used my real name. I used my real phone number. There was no fake details. I even used metrics based on my current business on the lead forms. Everything was tracked from the moment of confirmation. The window of tracking was 10 minutes for the competition, but we left the appointments for 6 hours to see if anyone called us after. And under identical conditions, I also opted into my own funnel to compare and contrast how much these gurus who probably are preaching AI actually use AI, or if they use a human setter in a better capacity than what we do with AI, to purely see what is the best way to get a lead to show up to the call and close. What actually worked? I want to start with the good. So the 3 best funnels that we came across were Cam England, John Mao, and Hormozi. So this is Cam England's process, okay? Immediately, he sends the confirmation with the Zoom link, as you can see here, to get you to confirm the call over email. He then says pre-call resources, which are FAQ videos and a program breakdown. And then he sends multiple reminders and also lots of testimonials. So his email sequence was really, really solid. Think of these emails as sales assets. They are assets that you send to the prospect that are either going to squash objections or set better expectations for the call to get them more in the mindset of buying. His process was really good. He did also send a WhatsApp message, which I thought was a nice touch. Feels a little bit more personal for some reason. He sent a WhatsApp message, but all it did was say, hey, I'm getting organized for the call. Just send a yes to make sure that you've confirmed. So it's like a little bit flat, whereas we'll compare with Hormozi in a second, where he actually asks a question. But Cam England's email sequence is really good. I don't really think that you can send too many emails because, let's be honest, most people aren't going to read them all. So let's say you send one, right? You're betting 100% of your pre-call asset on a chance that someone's going to kind of open that email. Let's say it's a 10% chance they open it. If you send 4 or 5, you've now increased your chance. So it's 10% chance on every email. Let's say that adds up to a 50% chance they view one of your emails before the call. We're just looking for any way to increase the likelihood of either name recognition, program recognition, or trust. That's all. That's what we're trying to do pre-call. Because you can either get better at closing, right, which is hard, or you can just have better leads that are more qualified. And it's not always where you're getting the leads from. It's how you qualify them. More on that later. So the best and second best, Johnny Mao, by far the best. So I have the text message and voice note sequence here, okay? So Johnny Mao sends a personal voice note, okay? This was actually to my girlfriend because she helped me through this process. We opted into 2 people at a time and we compared them, if you haven't seen the Instagram videos. Hey Leah, this is Adam from High Ticket Syndicate. Saw that you booked in a call. I just wanted to reach out personally. And then the voice note goes. He has a bit of a conversation, sets some expectation, asks a question, and then follows up. Now, obviously her reply is like, I just had to cancel the appointment. We didn't want to waste anyone's time. But this was really, really good. By far the best. Unfortunately, when I opted into this exact funnel, I didn't get this sequence for whatever reason, right? I got all the messages, but none of the voice notes. So it didn't really make sense. Some tips. A voice note, an evergreen Loom video, an evergreen selfie video on WhatsApp, iMessage, whatever it is, will go a massive way. Because imagine that you have, or I'll even use an example as an agency, because a lot of these gurus rely on their personal brand, which I'm going to explain more later, which is wrong. But if you're an agency and you're running ads and the lead has never seen your face, if you send them a video or a voice note just to get them to recognize you a little bit more, you're significantly more likely to close that deal, because let's say they opt into your funnel and someone else's funnel to buy marketing services. They're just going to feel like they know you a little bit more. It's a big step in the right direction. So only 2 out of the 16 people did anything good. Hormozi's team, let's move on to this. So this was an automated text message with a qualifying question. Better than an email, creates 2-way interaction, but no phone call whatsoever. In the 6 hours that we did this, nothing from his team. And as you can imagine, I was surprised based on the clip from the start of this video of Hormozi talking about these metrics. I was really surprised in this. Now, he does ask, what type of business do you run? Now, we did follow up and answer that question. And then they go for like a really basic discovery style questioning, which is like, okay, what are you looking to get out of this? Et cetera, like just like normal sales questions, but pretty automated, right? And I don't think that there was an AI running this. I don't think. Low-hanging fruit, in my opinion, to clean up this process. So the rest, and honestly, it was abysmal. So 13 out of the 16 people did nothing. So let's go through the broken funnels. Eric Kavlaris' funnel was just broken, and William Brown's funnel wouldn't even let us opt in to book the call. So those 2 were immediately disqualified, which again, like, it can go one of 2 ways. I like to think the more optimistic way, which is, okay, look, if you're a new agency owner or an early or a young business owner and something breaks one day and you miss a few leads, even these guys with all this money still have these problems. So don't be so hard on yourself. Email only, just Calendly emails, essentially. Eman Gadzi, TGR, and Cole Gordon. I couldn't believe Cole Gordon did nothing other than literally what you can get from the most basic Calendly subscription, or even just the Google Meet invites or the Google Calendar invites. That was really surprising to me, okay? Now, Andy Elliott, I honestly thought that I was gonna have multiple phone calls from his team. We got a phone call 2 hours after booking, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt through time zones. So when we opted in again later, because we pushed him through to the next round, never got a phone call again on a different number. I would have thought they would have been on their leads harder. Matt Gray markets himself as the system and automations expert. No systems, no automation, nothing. Literally nothing. Charlie Morgan, a few emails, no text automations. For what he talks about in terms of lead nurturing and things like that and the cost of his program, I was surprised, okay? When I was there, we actually had a more intensive process, so I don't know what's happened. But yeah, it was unfortunate to see. And then obviously Hormozi, right? No phone calls within 6 hours of a warm inbound lead. And this is for his in-person event. His in-person event where you'd think like, it's a sales call for an in-person event, which is, I think what, got to be 20, 30 grand. And I put in a really solid lead form. You would think that the guy who sent me the text would give me a call at some point throughout the day, but no, it never happened. The ones that should have known better, in my opinion. The biggest disappointment for me was Liam Ottley. So Liam Ottley basically pitches to people that AI can handle your entire sales process, automate your follow-up, and never miss a lead. He has multiple videos on his channel about AI voice agents and text agents. Is he using it for his own funnel? Absolutely not. So in my opinion, it's fraudulent. It is a lie. He cannot teach AI to the level he says he can because he doesn't even use it himself. So I would be very cautious about that. It was one email in 6 hours from him. And again, it was just the Google invite email. This one made me feel kind of pessimistic and a little bit sad about the state of the online space. It's so easy to make a video like he does talking about setting up AI agents on retail, but then the implementation of that thing is 5 million times harder. And they don't do it because it's easy to show and hard to do and have it work consistently over time. So this is why you should be so cautious with these people, because they really are not practicing what they preach. There is a significant gap between what these people teach and what they actually do, which is kind of the big takeaway for me. So these are the 4 lessons that I learned that I think you can apply to your business moving forward. And then I'm going to walk you through my exact funnel and exactly show you what we do and all the good bits and all the advanced parts that you can implement into your own business. So speed to lead is the single most ignored lever in sales. Not objection handling, not closing techniques, not your offer. It's the moment between someone booking a call and showing up, which the most businesses are hemorrhaging leads and nobody is taking it seriously. As a sales coach, as someone who was a high ticket closer for many years and was a sales coach and still runs a sales community, I promise you that it is so much more difficult to improve your objection handling skills and your closing ability than it is to implement the system that I'm going to show you, or at least part of the system that I'm going to show you. It is so much more difficult to do that because there are so many more variables on a sales call. The person's character, how agreeable they are they a disagreeable person, how you're feeling that day, the situation that you're in. Essentially, you can't control if a deal closes or not. You can control your inputs, but you can't control that person's decision making no matter what anyone tells you. You can do your best to influence it, but you cannot change or control it. You can turn a maybe into a yes, but not a no into a yes. So that means it is significantly easier to control your lead nurturing process, which will be the same every single time, no matter what, if you set up the right automations and structure. And it apparently, according to Alex Hormozi, is going to 4x your business overnight. If that does not sound like a no-brainer, I do not know what is. So this is the biggest takeaway for me. The second biggest takeaway is personal brand no longer converts a broken sales process. It used to be that your name carried enough weight that the lead showed up regardless. That era is ending. Audiences are much more skeptical. There are many more options, and the cost of a no-show has never been higher. Ads have never been more expensive. Remember that. I think this point directly ties into some rumors that I've heard from people inside of these coaching programs. I will not be naming names, but I know for a fact that the bigger names in this space, people in this test, are hemorrhaging money now. Their ad spend is higher than the cash they are collecting every single month right now. And that is because they have gotten lazy. They have relied so heavily on their personal brand that they're not evolving. And even the people that are saying that they're adopting AI or selling you something to adopt AI, they're still not adopting AI to solve that problem because it is hard. It is hard. It's difficult to get right. So this should be a big lesson to all of you that even if you grow your agency and you build a personal brand, you think the war against ad spend, cost, and closing is just going to be over, you are wrong. You need to leverage the most important and powerful thing that you can leverage, which is how you nurture your leads. Once that lead gives you your details, it is like your baby. You need to take care of it. Lesson number 3, human setters are not doing their jobs. We literally had one phone call the entire day from Andy Elliott's team, and they only called once, didn't even double dial. So for all of the hard-nosed sales culture that these people are preaching, again, talking about dialing your leads and you're a piece of shit if you don't call your leads 600 times, blah, 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 blah. They're fucking bullshitting because they don't do it themselves. So if you're looking to get into the agency world or the closing world, or you want to become a setter, honestly, it has never been easier. The bar has never been lower right now for setters and humans to do a good job. The unfortunate reality is because of the widespread apathy to lead importance AI is going to take all your fucking jobs. And that sucks for me to say, honestly, because I came from the sales world. I don't necessarily want this to happen. It might sound weird for me to say that, but I believe that humans getting in the weeds and dialing those phone numbers is how it should be. It builds character, it builds skills, and it's the best thing that you can learn. The problem is too many people have done a shit job for too long, and now there is a process that is so much more efficient, so much cheaper, and significantly almost better. I caught myself. It's not better, but it's almost there. And if you assume any rate of improvement with AI, it's going to be better within a year. And this is a problem. So you have two options. You either double down on the skills or your hiring or whatever, or you adopt AI because it is coming for your business and your job if you're a setter. And if you're a marketing agency, this should be the greatest thing that you've ever heard, because there is a way to arbitrage the market right now. There hasn't been anything like this since the very beginning of SMMA, when businesses weren't running ads. Right now, you have a unique situation where AI is good enough to do this job, right? But it's not quite mainstream enough for even the biggest people are doing it. And if you can come in and set up these systems, which I'm going to walk you through kind of what it should look like. If you can come in and set up this system, you're going to get such a better result on your clients' ads that they're never going to leave you, ever. So don't worry about hiring someone from Egypt, Philippines with an accent, whatever. Just double down on the AI, because I promise you it's going to change everything. Lesson number 4. Nobody is using AI to follow up. The AI automation guru isn't even fucking using AI to follow up. Cam England isn't even using AI to follow up. Now, I will give Cam England his props and say that on one of the videos, he did say that we should have opted into his other funnel, which is his done for you thing. But to keep the test fair, we just did courses. But I mean, like, if Cam England, if you're watching this, if License and Scale is making you so much money and you have an AI implementation agency, why not just take what you do for other clients and put it into your own business? It doesn't make sense. It's not that hard, right? Right, Liam Ottley? It's not that fucking hard, apparently, but actually it kind of is. So this is kind of where I think the gap is starting to be created. And we don't even need to be talking about AI voice. Just better emails, better go high level text automations, AI chatbots. I mean, yes, I promise you AI chatbots can take the heavy lifting off text conversations. We are literally doing it as we speak with our clients. So what actually won? It was our funnel, right? Now, you're probably going to think, oh, no shit, Louis, this is just marketing. Fine, a little bit, yes. But I was kind of concerned that we were going to do it and Olivia was going to call us, and then also Hormozi's team was going to call us, and I was going to have to compare the two phone calls, and it was going to put a massive red cross over my AI service. That was actually a concern that I had when I thought about doing this tournament. I did not need to have that concern because, yeah, if Olivia was put up against Hormozi's best setter would win for now. You have to think about future-proofing your business. I am future-proofing myself. At least I truly believe that I am. So, but the reality is AI Olivia could be even just good. She is fantastic, but even if she was just good, it's still better than nothing. And that is the missing piece. So she was calling within 5 minutes. We can change that to any amount of time, but we want to let people watch the VSL. Okay, she qualifies and builds excitement, and then the lead is going to arrive warm and bought into the sales call. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set that up in terms of what the overview of the funnel should look like. Okay, so this is my beautifully designed Olivia pipeline for you guys. This is very simple, but very effective. And it's basically from lead entering the funnel to the sales call. Okay, so your lead enters the funnel, submits their form. First thing that goes out is a confirmation email. I would say what we are going to be using and sort of implemented already is the Cam England style, where you send out a confirmation email, which also has an agenda, expectations, and what they're going to learn from the call. So rather than just being like, hey, confirm your appointment with no other details, it's like, this is the reason you should confirm your appointment. We're always giving them reasons or selling them on the next step. So that's the first part. Then within a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, Olivia is going to call them and qualify them. Basically running a pre-discovery on the prospect. What prompted you to book the call? What kind of business are you running? If it's not already answered, where are you at revenue-wise, or where do you want to get to revenue-wise? What's the main thing holding you back from getting there? What's got you interested in this thing specifically? And that question is really important, because if they bring up any sort of doubt or one of the main objections. So let's say, for example, for our service, how much is it going to cost? Is it going to sound human? I've used AI before and it didn't work. How long is it going to take to implement? And are my prospects going to know that it's an AI, right? Those are sort of general objections that we have data on. So she's going to understand if they bring up those objections on the call. She is going to then store that in our beautifully designed system and knowledge base of that lead. And then that is going to trigger an Olivia action. So within our system, we have actions. So Olivia can not only do things based on workflows, but she can perform tasks without any involvement from us. So what she does, and this is what you should do if you're just doing this stuff manually, is you should send one of 5 emails with a sales asset attached, which directly handles one of those 5 objections that I just mentioned. So let's say that someone was like, oh, how much is it, Olivia? I'm worried it's going to be too expensive for me, right? Pretty standard thing to come up on a setting call. She's going to diffuse, she's going to handle that objection slightly and then push it to the sales call, hang up the call, and she's going to then allocate that email with a video, whether it's a YouTube video of mine or a Loom video of me explaining why it will be worth the investment and the long-term saving without actually saying the investment. So we now have a specific objection handling sales asset that goes out to a specific person so they feel as if you were doing it for them. That is how you nurture a lead. That is the best way of doing it. Cam England does it at scale with just a lot of fucking emails, but I think doing it this way is best. So as you can see, it triggers the email. And then from there, we open an SMS nurture thread. So once she's hung up and sent the email, a few hours later, she's going to send a text message being like, hey, just want to know if you got a chance to look at that video that I sent over. So now we have a text thread where they can talk with her and reply to her. And all of this information is getting updated in her brain. So she always has the current context of the lead. From here, we then send a 3 email sequence, which we send to everyone, because there is a time and a place for just general nurturing as well. Once this is done, Olivia is going to confirm the call 1 hour before. Please, for the love of God, call your leads 1 hour before the sales call, even if you do it manually, because they might bring up any extra concerns or anything like that, and she will be able to objection handle that and deal with that, or send more resources, or just get them to show up onto the sales call. And then I take the sales call, or my business partner does, and what do we have now? We have a lead who has brought up probably the objection they were going to bring up on the call, then had a resource to crack the foundation of that objection and give them a reason why it's not really a real thing. And if they still show up to the call after that, that means that they are willing to look past the objection. They're warm. They've seen my face multiple times. They feel like they've had a conversation with one of our team members. They feel like we care about them, and then we close the deal. Simple as that. So the good thing is you don't even have to take my word for it, right? In terms of how good Olivia is, you can test it for yourself. So if you like this video, if you like what I showed you, if you want to have a chance to see how good these AIs are, I want you to go into the description, okay? Click on the test link, enter your phone number and your name and your email, and Olivia is going to call you, okay? You're also going to get some other emails as well, right? And she's going to have a conversation with you and potentially try and book you into a call with us if you want to explore further. If you don't want to, that's totally fine. You can give it a test and see how it goes, okay? But I would highly recommend taking the lessons from this video, taking the structure of the process, and if you can't do it with AI and you don't want to pay someone to do it for you, that's totally fine. Just do it manually, because it will make you 4 times the money, as Hormozi said. So as always, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe. I'm really hoping to grow the YouTube this year and get you guys a lot more content about what we're doing and what we're going to be building in the future. So please subscribe, like this video if you found it helpful, and give it a good crack with Olivia. She's ready for pretty much everything. So I will see you guys on the next one.